So a few weeks ago, I went up to Put-in-Bay Island for the very first time. This is up in the northern portion of Ohio, an area that despite living in Ohio my whole life, I haven't really spent much time up there. And my good friend Trev Lee, he lives up there. He works for the Dark Room, and he wanted to go out and basically just show me around Put-in-Bay for the first time and just see what I would shoot there, considering I've never seen it before. And it does not look like Ohio at all. As soon as we got there and I saw it, it felt like we were more in Florida than we were in Ohio. So we basically just took the day, we hopped on the ferry and went over to Put-in-Bay Island for the day and just wandered around, shot photos wherever we could, basically avoiding and dodging all of the rain and storms that we had, which we weren't expecting, but they just kind of happened up.
Or just have those like water shoes.
Yeah.
Because if you have sandals, the little pebbles get in there and stuff. But so that's why I would recommend out here, because there's a lot of great places. There's some incredible breweries here with amazing food. There's this one called Twin Oast that it's like a 4-acre property, and you can go everywhere. You can go eat under a willow tree.
That's
like,
rad.
and their food
is that here on the island?
No, no, it's so back over there.
Gotcha.
And it's so good. And there's an island up there called Mackinac Island, and you can't have cars on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has the Grand Hotel, which is like where Christopher Reeves.
Just picturing like a really wide shot and just seeing a tiny golf cart coming into frame like super slow.
Yeah.
In the tree. Power line's just gonna have to be in the shot, I think. That's all right. Flip it this way.
I love this, Matt, look at this angle right here, because you get this building, the yellow, that random yellow building, that, and then that island right there.
Yeah.
So just get the I'm dying in this country ass town. It's one of my favorite clips. He loses the whole news anchor thing real quick.
But what really happened that one fateful morning?
There really weren't many people there on the island while we were there, which was nice. I would imagine now in the middle of summer it would probably be a lot busier, but a month or so ago and early on a Monday morning it was nice and quiet while we were there, which that's more of my speed, so I liked that. While I was there, I was mostly shooting Kodak Gold 200 with the RZ67. And for 35mm, I was using this Svema 400 film. It's from FPP, the Film Photography Project. Michael Rosso gave me a few rolls of their film, and this film is made in Ukraine. Film Photography Project isn't actually making the film, but they're the only people who sell it and offer it in the actual 35mm rolls. So I wanted to try some of that out, and I shot one roll of that through the M6. Although it wasn't the best roll, the film came out a little bit muddy and really kind of flat in contrast. I had to really do some work in order to kind of get the photo to where I wanted it. I probably could have used an extra stop of light on pretty much all of the photos. I shot everything at 400. I probably could have done better at 200, but also my M6, I found out on this roll that the shutter drag issue is happening again. So having a dark kind of right edge of the frame, that definitely doesn't help with that kind of underexposed muddy look.
Do it. So at the moment, this is my last roll of LV50. It's not easy to find.
So we're here in Put-in-Bay, Ohio. This is my first time being here, despite living in Ohio my entire life. It's all been spent on the southern side of Ohio. But my good friend Trev Lee here from the Darkroom, this is more in Trev's neck of the woods. So Trev kind of came up with the idea to spend a day up here and check it out for the first time. Trev, tell us a little bit about Put-in-Bay, Ohio.
So this is, it's about 45 minutes from me. It's in Lake Erie,
Yep.
and we're about 20 minutes from the mainland, about 30 minutes from Canada as well,
Yeah.
at least the Pele Islands. So it's just a small island out here with a cool little community and a bunch of small islands. When I heard, like Matt and I both grew up in Ohio, when I heard Matt had never, you'd seen Lake Michigan from Chicago.
From Chicago.
And you've seen
but
Lake Erie
never-
from Cleveland, but you've never been to the water, right?
Yeah,
I was
no,
blown
never.
away, so I
Yeah.
knew we had to come see this.
Yeah, all of my time in Ohio, I'm down in the southern half. So oddly enough, I've been to the other side of the country before I came just, you know, a few hours north. So yeah, when you're out here, it doesn't look like Ohio. Like when we first started getting in, it looked more like Florida than it looked like Ohio. So yeah, it's been a trip. We've just been walking around. We got caught in some pretty heavy rain just a little bit ago.
Typical Ohio weather.
Yeah, without a doubt. But we figured we would go ahead and share what we brought today. We tried to pack, I at least tried to pack light.
As you hold a Mamiya RZ 67.
That's the thing.
But you didn't bring much other than that.
No.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. I mean, as we've been walking around, I have shot most with this today. I brought the RZ67 with one lens, the 110, and my M6 with a 35 Summicron and a 50 Nocton. That's all of the gear that I brought, but I've used this the most. I haven't shot a ton with the M6. I've mostly been shooting this with Kodak Gold 200. So I brought all Gold 200. I brought one roll of FP4 in black and white, but that was sort of a just in case kind of thing. I knew I was primarily wanting to shoot color today. And then in the M6, I have a roll of FPP Sfema 400, right? Is that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a film I've never shot. I have a handful of rolls from FPP that I haven't shot before, so I thought today would be a good day to test some of them out. But so far, this is really what I've been mainly shooting with.
I'm excited to see what you get with that, because you're shooting with, it's a 50 millimeter-ish equivalent.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Which will be nice, because I've shot a little wider.
On
So,
6.7?
Yeah, but I think it'll be really cool to see that little more compression on that medium format camera.
Yeah, this, the 110 is really, like, I've had a 65 millimeter before, and I'd kind of like to get one of those again. But the 110 is just such a good, this is kind of like over 10 years ago when I first got an RZ, the 110 was like the reason I wanted to get this camera, was just for this one lens. It's just, yeah, it's perfect. But what'd you bring today?
I brought my FM3 with, I typically shoot the 40, which I have the 40 with me, but I also brought a 28 2.8, and then a new to the world.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The Pentax 17. So this camera is a brand new, fully newly designed camera from Pentax, and me and the darkroom have had the pleasure of being a tester for this camera. It's a half frame camera, and I've been pleasantly surprised by the results. Right now I have Ektar 100. I've been shooting everything under the sun with it.
Yeah.
So I've done Gold 200, Ultramax, Cine Still. My goal is to shoot, so I'm shooting Ektar right now, so I have 100. I have all of them, now I just need to do 3200.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice, I kind of view it as like a companion camera, even though it creates results good enough to be a standalone on its own camera.
For sure.
Like, I've been mainly shooting with this. I typically shoot with a 40 millimeter, but since this is a 37 millimeter equivalent,
You kind of got the same thing.
Yeah, so I've been shooting wide with this, and I kind of use this more as like a candid, because I think people, like, I'm gonna do a video and talk about this, but with zone focus, people don't realize how convenient zone focus is.
Oh yeah.
For what we're doing in a trip like this, because like right now everything I've done is either really far away, so I'm on infinity,
Right.
or we're having coffee or a drink, and I just pick that, put the flash on, and I don't have to wait for it to hunt for focus,
Right.
or something like that. It's just, you take
Instant,
it, yeah,
yeah.
instant. And I haven't missed focus a lot with it, surprisingly, other than I have missed focus on the macro mode a few times, but that's a little bit harder.
I was gonna say the macro,
The macro's this close, like literally this distance, about right there, 10 inches.
that's insane.
But yeah, it's for film. I brought, so typically for color, I haven't been shooting as much color. Typically I shoot Portra 160 or Ultramax 400 are like my two favorites for 35. But I had like a bunch of oddball film that I wasn't gonna shoot, so I brought, that I typically don't shoot, so I brought Ektar 100, which I'm not a big saturation fan, but figure I'd give it a try. Cine Still 50D, and then I have some Velvia 50 and a few other stuff, but
Yeah, that's quite the variety.
I know.
There's a lot
it's
of.
not what I normally shoot.
I was gonna say, yeah. I brought HP5. That's my go-to for the M6, but I just grabbed some different FPP films and Ferrania's P33, which I also haven't shot, but yeah.
Yeah, so the last time we did a video, we talked about our go-to stuff. You were an M6 35 HP5. You haven't changed.
Nope, that's still, if I can only have one camera, M6 35 and HP5, and that's, yeah.
So I don't know if it was you that converted me, but now I'm HP5.
Love to
as
hear
my
it.
go-to black and white, or FP4. And
FP4 is great.
my FM3A, because I sold my M5 about 6 months after doing that video
We
with
made that
you.
video.
And for selling my M5 and the lens that I had, I bought an FM3A,
Yep.
3 lenses, and had money left over. So,
Dang, dude.
so yeah, and it had a 40 millimeter. Like I got that Voigtlander 40, so that's just
Which
my
is killer. Yeah. I have a Voigtlander lens that I brought with me for my M6, and I really like it. But I've never used any of the Voigtlander F-mount stuff. But just from like trying yours out, it makes me wish I would have gotten one when I had an FM2 all those years ago.
They're nice.
Should probably get one again. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I've mostly been shooting with the RZ, mostly because it's loaded with color and my M6 is loaded with black and white. So the stuff that I've seen, I've wanted in color, so it automatically was gonna have to be this. But I don't know, when I'm shooting just sort of like still, like landscapes or anything where if I don't have to shoot quick, I really like using the RZ. I love just everything about the way the camera works, focusing, the viewfinder, this lens in particular, like a portrait. I shot of you earlier as well. Portraits I love using this camera for. Anything where I can just kind of like walk around and it's something that I'm seeing, where it's hard to explain. Like if it's not people, quick, candid stuff, I really like using something like this. Whereas if I was just walking around and it was very quick shooting, my M6 would be the obvious choice, just because that camera, whether I'm stopping the lens down and just sort of like zone focusing or just actually using the rangefinder, it's just so much quicker than using an SLR for me. But this is, you know, it's perfect for pretty much everything else. Like,
I'm looking forward to seeing the photos you took on the far side, where it looked
Yeah.
almost like tropical.
yeah,
It's gonna look good.
it's crazy. Like seeing, I don't know, everywhere we've been, like aside from like being in a restaurant, you know, like everything else, it just doesn't feel like Ohio. So
The houses do.
yeah, the
The
houses.
houses, they don't look like they should be on this island.
On an
half
island,
of
no.
them.
Yeah, it's
This looks like a countryside house in the middle of nowhere, and
Yeah.
then it's like lakefront.
it's really bizarre. But yeah, it's been a good time. As convenient as it is to scan my film here myself, like 99% of the time, doing the whole mirrorless setup, I've got to say that the Gold 200 coming from a proper film scan, from like a proper film lab like the darkroom, I'm much happier with just the overall look and colors. I was already happy with Gold 200, with what I was getting out of it. But now, in these scenarios, these film scans, I'm just really happy with how that turned out. And it just gave me even more faith in that film stock for pretty much any kind of lighting condition. Obviously not in very low, dark, indoor light or something, but just really whatever I came across, I'm happy with how the color turned out. I would definitely like to go back to Put-in-Bay at some point because it was, again, just totally different from anything I'm used to shooting around here. It was a nice, complete change of scenery after just a short drive. I'm not much of a beach person, but I had a lot of fun shooting these photos, and it definitely makes me want to go back. Big shout out to Trev for making this happen, for having this idea. It was a fun time, and we'll definitely have to do it again. Maybe if you have any recommendations on a place you'd like to see Trev and I shoot somewhere in Ohio, maybe a place that neither of us have seen before, That would probably be a lot of fun. I'll be sure to have links down below where you can follow Trev and see everything he does. A big part of what he does is with the Darkroom. They are constantly putting out all sorts of different film camera comparisons and film stock comparisons. Really in-depth, good education and information for the film community. So big shout out to the Darkroom for sponsoring this video. The Darkroom is a traditional dip and dunk lab with the modern convenience of easy online ordering. Shipping your film in is super easy with their free film mailers that they provide, and their mobile app allows you to order your processing. You can download and archive your scans all within the app. They develop black and white, color negative, and E6 films in pretty much any format in-house, and they offer 3 scan options along with a wide variety of print options, including true black and white prints on Ilford silver gelatin paper. The Darkroom has been around forever. They've been in the photo industry for a very long time. If you have any film that you need to send in, definitely check them out through the link down below. Thanks again to the Darkroom for sponsoring this video. Again, huge thanks to Trev for the day up in Put-in-Bay. It was a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have to do it again soon. But if you have any questions or thoughts on anything that we shared or talked about in this video, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. But that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. I love you, and I'll see you next time.